It is my wife's Memorial Day, a date circled in black ink on the family calendar for the past year. The house smells faintly of incense, and yet what catches my attention is something smaller, something ordinary. Turned strange, a chair left empty at the end of the table. The cushion bears the faint indent of someone who once sat there often, but today no one dares to take it. I cannot stop staring at it, as if it holds more weight than any of the flowers, any of the prayers. As I sit with my hands folded, I feel the ridges of an object inside my coat pocket. I almost forgot about it. An old brass key tarnished with time cool against my palm. My late wife used to keep it on her bedside table, but after she passed I slipped it into my pocket and never spoke of it again. No one else in the family knows I have it. No one ever asked. The room hums with voices low and heavy. My son Daniel has not looked me in the eyes since the ceremony began. My daughter Elise busies herself arranging food that no one touches. Between them, years of unspoken resentment hang like smoke. I feel it pressing down on me more than grief itself. Then amidst the murmurs, I hear a faint whisper. Grandpa. It's my granddaughter Lily. She is only 12, her dark eyes far too knowing for her age. She leans closer, her hair brushing my sleeve, and her voice trembles, as though carrying a secret too large for her small frame. Leave this house now. The words freeze me in place. Leave on the day of my wife's memorial? It makes no sense yet. Her urgency feels undeniable. She looks at me with a mix of fear and pity, as though she's glimpsed something I haven't. I search her eyes for explanation, but she only shakes her head quickly, lips sealed. I glance at the empty chair again. My wife's seat. Nobody has touched it, and yet somehow it feels occupied. A shiver runs through me. For a moment I consider brushing off her words. I am the patriarch, the eldest, the one who has weathered wars of silence and storms of betrayal. But something in her tone lodges deep inside me, deeper than pride or reason. Perhaps it is the way she said now, not soon, not later, but now. The incense curls upward in thin, twisting lines like signals rising to a ceiling that never answers. My chest feels tight, not just with sorrow, but with a warning I cannot quite name. I squeeze the brass key in my pocket, its edges biting into my skin as though reminding me of some door long closed, some truth long hidden. And in that moment, though, I don't yet understand why I know this. I must listen. I must stand. I must go. And that was only the beginning. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and tell me in the comments where you're watching from. The service ends, but the house remains heavy with silence. People drift into smaller clusters, murmuring in corners, pretending to console one another while their eyes dart around like restless birds. I stay seated, my back stiff, my gaze locked on the chair at the end of the table. It is not just an empty chair. It is her chair. My wife's chair. She always insisted on sitting there, right where she could see the whole family at once. During dinners, she would tap the wooden armrest twice before speaking, a habit no one noticed except me. Now that same chair seems to pulse with absence like a missing tooth. Your tongue can't stop probing. Someone should sit there out of respect, to show continuity, to remind us that life goes on. But no one does. Even when guests shuffle for seats, their eyes glide past it as if the chair has become untouchable, sacred, or worse, dangerous. I notice Lily watching it too. My granddaughter's small hands clutch the hem of her dress. Her lips part as though she wants to say something, then close again. The memory of her whispered warning echoes in my mind. Leave this house now. I swallow hard. Why would she say that? At 12, she should be laughing with her cousins, not carrying fear in her eyes. Daniel clears his throat loudly. My son. He raises his glass for a hollow toast, his voice flat. To Mother, he says, avoiding my gaze. He doesn't add more. No warmth, no memory, just two words like a stone dropped into water. I notice something, then his fingers tremble slightly as he sets the glass down. A man like Daniel does not tremble. He is polished, sharp-suited, always in control. That small detail unsettles me more than his coldness. I lean back, gripping the brass key in my pocket. The edges press into my palm. It feels like the chair and the key are connected somehow, threads pulling tighter, though I cannot see the weave. Elise approaches me, her perfume sharp, not the soft lavender her mother wore. Father, she says, her voice clipped, maybe you should rest in the back room. You look tired. Her suggestion sounds polite, but I hear the subtext, step aside, leave us to our business. My wife's memorial, and already my children are speaking as if I'm an inconvenience. I nod slowly but remain seated. My silence is my shield. The chatter swells, then falters. A gust of wind rattles the windows, though all are shut tight. The candle flames waver, bending toward the empty chair. For a heartbeat, I swear I see the cushion indent slightly deeper, as though someone invisible has leaned in. A murmur ripples through the guests. Someone crosses themselves. Someone else mutters, "It's just the draft." But silence has its own way of speaking. I reach for a memory to anchor myself. I recall the first time I brought that chair home decades ago. Oak solid, carved with vines along the arms. My wife loved it instantly, claiming it as her spot. "From here, I can see everyone," she said, smiling. I remember thinking how it suited her, always watching, always guarding. Now the chair feels like it's watching us, watching me. Lily inches closer. She tugs my sleeve gently. "Grandpa," she whispers again, her eyes darting toward the hall where no one is standing. "It's not safe." "What do you mean?" I murmur, but she shakes her head fiercely, tears brimming. I study her face, too pale, too frightened. Children sometimes sense what adults ignore. I remember reading once that in old Irish folklore, children were believed to see things adults could not. Spirits moving between rooms, truths hidden in shadows. Perhaps Lily's fear is not baseless. The chair creaks suddenly. Everyone turns. No one is near it yet. The sound is unmistakable, wood straining under unseen weight. Daniel laughs nervously. "Old things should have been replaced years ago." His voice cracks on the last word. Elise shoots him a sharp glance. Something passes between them, silent but heavy. Secrets. Always secrets. I run my thumb over the key in my pocket. The groove's familiar. I don't know why, but I feel as if that key belongs to the same silence that now fills this room. A silence that warns, accuses, promises. I should rise, walk to the chair, break the spell by sitting in it myself. Yet something stops me, an instinct, or perhaps Lily's wide, terrified eyes. Instead, I remain still, heart pounding as the family continues their shallow conversations. The chair stands sentinel, empty, yet not empty, present, yet absent. A quiet reminder that the dead are never truly silent. But I soon realize that wasn't the worst of it. Lily's whisper lingers in my ear like smoke that won't clear. "Leave this house now." I replay it again and again, even as the room around me drowns in false condolences and brittle laughter. 12 years old, yet she spoke as if she carried centuries of fear. She tugs my sleeve again, firmer this time, as though she can feel my hesitation. Her lips barely move, but her words are clear. "Grandpa, please. Don't wait. Don't trust them." Her eyes, dark shimmering pools, do not match the innocence of her age. They remind me of her grandmother's eyes, especially on nights when storms rattled the windows. My wife always seemed to know when danger was near long before it arrived. I bend slightly closer, my voice a low murmur. "What is it you've seen, Lily?" But she shakes her head, clutching her dress tighter. "I can't say. If I tell you, they'll know." Her words pierce me deeper than any insult ever could. They'll know. Who is they? My children, my relatives, my own blood. I glance around the room at Daniel pacing near the window, his jaw set too tightly, his phone clutched in his hand as though waiting for a signal. At Elise, whispering into another guest's ear, her eyes darting toward me and then away like a thief checking for witnesses. Every movement feels rehearsed, staged. I take Lily's hand gently, her small fingers trembling in mine. "Then just tell me this," I whisper. "Am I in danger?" She nods, quick and sharp. My throat goes dry. I look again at the empty chair. The cushion seems deeper, darker than before, as though shadows have pooled there. I remember a superstition my grandmother once told me. If a chair creaks without weight, it means the dead have returned to listen. Foolish, perhaps, but now it doesn't feel foolish at all. The brass key in my pocket presses harder into my palm, as if reminding me of unfinished business. I can't explain why, but I feel certain that the key, the chair, and Lily's warning are threads of the same tapestry. Suddenly, the front door bangs open. Everyone startles, glasses clink, a murmur ripples. A neighbor enters, apologizing for the intrusion, carrying a casserole dish she claims she forgot earlier. She places it on the table beside the chair, too close, and quickly pulls her hand back as if burned. "Strange draft," she mutters before leaving again. I notice something odd. The casserole dish fogs over, though the room is not cold. A shiver travels up my spine. Lily squeezes my hand tighter. "See," she whispers, "it doesn't want us here." I hesitate. My rational mind insists it's just grief-twisting perception, children's imagination, fueling superstition. But grief cannot explain the way Daniel's eyes narrow each time he looks at me, or how Elise's voice lowers whenever she speaks to anyone else. I rise slowly from my chair. A hush falls. Daniel stops pacing. Elise stops whispering. All eyes flick toward me. "Where are you going, Father?" Daniel asks, his tone polite but laced with steel. Just for air, I reply, forcing calm. My voice doesn't betray the pounding in my chest. Sit, Elise insists, not a request, an order. The room grows colder, though no windows are open. The flames in the candles dip low, their glow retreating like frightened animals. My wife's chair creaks again, louder this time. Everyone freezes. Lily leans closer, her lips brushing my ear. Grandpa, it knows, please. The it in her whisper sends a chill down my spine. Not they, not a person, something else. I straighten, making a decision. I'll step out for a moment, I say firmly. Lily, come with me. Daniel's hand tightens around his glass. Elise's smile is thin, brittle. She should stay, Elise says quickly. Too quickly. But Lily clings to my arm. I'm going with Grandpa. She says, her voice small but unwavering. No one stops us as I guide her toward the hallway. But I can feel their eyes drilling into my back, heavy with secrets they think I do not see. And as I reach for the front door, the brass key burns in my pocket, and I know Lily was right. If I stay, something terrible will happen. I thought I was safe, but I was wrong. The hallway feels longer than I remember, each step echoing like a warning. Lily clings to my arm, her small frame pressed against me, trembling. The murmur of voices from the dining room fades, but the tension does not. If anything, it grows sharper, like the silence after a thunderclap when you know another bolt is coming. The front door is only a few steps away. My hand hovers above the knob, yet something makes me pause. A chill brushes across the back of my neck as though someone or something breathes close behind me. I glance over my shoulder. The hall is empty. Still, the shadows on the walls look thicker than they should, clinging to corners, bending unnaturally. Lily whispers, they're watching. Her voice trembles, but it is not childish fear. It is conviction. My throat tightens. Who, my children? The guests, or the shadows themselves? I grip the brass key in my pocket. Its edges dig deeper into my palm, almost cutting skin. The strange comfort it gives me feels absurd, like a soldier clutching a photograph on the battlefield, yet I cannot let go. I remember something my wife once said during a winter storm, when the lights flickered and we sat by candlelight. She told me every house keeps its own shadows, but only some learn how to whisper. At the time, I laughed it off as one of her poetic notions. Now those words resurface with haunting clarity. The hall mirror catches my eye. For a second, I swear I see more than my own reflection. A blurred figure lingers just over my shoulder. Not Lily, something taller and distinct. I blink and it is gone, but my pulse doesn't slow. Grandpa, don't look back, Lily says quickly, as if she read my thoughts. I force myself to face forward. The doorknob is cold, too cold for metal warmed by a crowded house. My hand hesitates before turning it. Behind me, the dining room erupts briefly in laughter, but it is brittle, jagged, like glass shattering instead of joy. Their voices do not sound like mourners anymore. They sound like conspirators. I should open the door, step outside, breathe the night air. Yet some instinct keeps me frozen. Leaving now might mean never understanding why my granddaughter is so afraid, and I need to know. Lily, I murmur, what happens if I stay? Her silence is answer enough. A door creaks upstairs, my head tilts upward. Footsteps, slow, deliberate, heavy, but no one else should be upstairs. The guests are all gathered and the second floor was meant to remain closed. Lily grips me tighter. The shadows shift again. I realize they are not random shapes. They are moving with intent, stretching along the wall like fingers reaching toward us. I step back, pressing Lily against my side protectively. Stay close, I whisper. A memory jolts through me, an old superstition from my childhood village. My grandmother once claimed that if shadows move when the body does not, it means secrets are being forced into the light. She said that's when families break because truth cannot be caged forever. Perhaps that is what tonight is, the night the truth forces its way out. I hear Elise's voice drifting from the dining room, sharp and commanding. Don't let him leave. My blood runs cold. So it isn't just shadows, it's them. Lily gasps, eyes wide. Grandpa, please. If you open that door, they'll stop you. You need to use the key. The key. I glance down at my pocket. For a heartbeat, I almost laugh. What could a small brass key do against betrayal, against whatever darkness coils through this house? Yet her words strike something inside me. If the door out is blocked, perhaps another door must open. I step away from the front entrance, guiding Lily toward the side hallway that leads to the old study. Few in the family ever went there after my wife locked it years ago. They wouldn't expect me to head there now. The air grows thicker, shadows lengthening as though following us. My chest tightens, not from age but from dread. I push open the study door. The room smells of cedar and dust. The curtains are drawn, yet the shadows have already seeped inside, curling in corners. I pull the key from my pocket, holding it up to the lamplight. tarnished brass grooves worn smooth by time. Lily watches me, her face pale but resolute. "Where does it fit?" I whisper to myself. Her answer is barely audible, but it chills me more than any scream. The box. I thought I was safe, but I was wrong. The study door closes behind us with a reluctant groan. For a moment the noise from the dining room fades, and the silence here feels heavier, thicker, as if the walls themselves are listening. Dust coats the shelves where books sit, untouched spines cracked with age. This was her room, my wife's private retreat, and it feels almost like trespassing even now. Lily doesn't let go of my hand. She points to the corner to the desk where stacks of papers lie under a thin veil of dust. "The box," she whispers. I follow her gaze and see it immediately, a small wooden chest carved with swirling patterns I recognize too well. It once sat beside our bed. My wife called it her quiet keeper. She never explained why she locked it away in here during her final years. The brass key in my hand suddenly feels alive, pulsing with purpose. I kneel before the chest, my knees stiff, my breath uneven. The key slides easily into the lock. It turns with a soft click as though it had been waiting for this exact moment. Before I can lift the lid, I hear voices drifting from the dining room, raised, sharp, fractured. "Father is hiding something." Elise's tone cuts like glass. "He's too old to manage anything," Daniel snaps back. "But he's got that key. I saw him holding it." Their words travel through the walls like poison. My chest tightens. They're not even pretending anymore. The funeral, the condolences, just a performance. Beneath it, the real play is inheritance control and secrets I never thought they knew. Lily looks at me, her eyes brimming. "I told you, Grandpa, they're not here for her. They're here for you." Her words slice through me, more painful than any physical wound. "These are my children. I raised them, sacrificed for them, taught them right from wrong. Now, on the day we honor their mother, they plot against me. A family divided not by grief but by greed." I push the box aside for a moment, steadying myself. The room tilts slightly. My wife's absence has left more than sorrow. It has left a battlefield, and I am standing in the middle of it. A faint thump jolts me. I freeze. Footsteps in the hallway, slow and deliberate. Someone is searching. Father Daniel's voice calls closer now. "Come back to the table. We need to talk." I exchange a glance with Lily. Her face pales, but she doesn't waver. She shakes her head firmly. I whisper, "If they find us here." She interrupts softly, her voice almost too calm for a child. "Then they'll take the box before you can open it." The shadows in the corners seem to lean forward, as if eager for what comes next. I lift the lid of the chest. Inside lies a bundle of letters tied with a faded ribbon, and beneath them a sealed envelope marked in my wife's handwriting, "For him only." My breath catches, that handwriting delicate, slanted, unmistakable, a trace of her still alive on paper. My heart twists. 20 years of marriage, and she still finds a way to speak to me even from the grave. But before I can open it, the study door rattles. Daniel tries the handle. Locked. He curses under his breath. Father Elise's voice joins him now, sharp, commanding, "Open this door!" I tuck the envelope inside my coat, my pulse hammering. My hands tremble not from age, but from fury and heartbreak. The box creaks louder as I close it, as though reluctant to let go of its secrets. Daniel pounds on the door again. "You can't keep this from us forever." The letters inside the chest rustle as if stirred by invisible hands, or perhaps by memory itself. I step back, holding Lily close. She buries her face against my arm. Silence descends again, broken only by the pounding outside. And in that silence I feel it. My family is not a family anymore. They are opponents circling, waiting for me to falter. But I soon realize that wasn't the worst of it. The pounding on the study door grows louder, each thud echoing like a gavel, striking judgment. Daniel's voice is sharp. Elise's is shrill, and together they sound less like grieving children and more like prosecutors closing in on their prey. I press the brass key between my fingers, its ridges digging into my skin. For years it sat in my pocket unnoticed, just a trinket of my wife's past. But tonight it feels different, heavy, charged, purposeful. This key is no longer a keepsake. It is a weapon. "Father, open this door now," Elise barks, her fist rattling the knob. "We deserve to know what you're hiding." Hiding. The word stings. I've hidden nothing but my grief. It is they who have hidden their ambition behind rehearsed condolences and hollow smiles. Lily squeezes my arm tighter. "Don't let them take it, Grandpa." Her eyes dart to the key. I nod slowly, realizing she sees more than I do. Perhaps she always has. Children notice the cracks adults ignore. I kneel by the wooden chest again. The letters inside rustle softly, as if stirred by the weight of the moment. My wife's sealed envelope burns in my pocket, but my attention shifts to something beneath the bundle. A false bottom. My fingers trace the edge and pry it open. There, hidden away, is a small journal bound in cracked leather, and on its cover, engraved faintly into the surface, is the same vine pattern carved into the key. My pulse quickens. This was no ordinary key. It was part of something larger, something deliberately concealed. The pounding outside grows frantic. Daniel's voice cracks with rage. "He's got it! I told you, Elise, he's got it!" She hisses back. "Quiet. Do you want the guests to hear?" So it's true. They know about the key, but how my wife never told them. She barely even told me. I flip open the journal. The first page is blank except for a symbol drawn in ink, an intricate knot almost Celtic in design. I remember once, decades ago, my wife telling me her grandmother carried old Irish customs into the family. At the time, I thought little of it. Now, staring at that knot, I feel the weight of something ancient pressing down on me. The next page is worse. A list of dates. Each one corresponds to major family milestones, births, graduations, even the day I retired. But alongside them are short notes in her handwriting. They lied. Don't trust him. Keep the key safe. My throat closes. Who is she writing about? Who lied? I slam the journal shut as another crash rattles the door. They've brought something heavy to break it down. Lily whispers urgently, "Grandpa, we can't stay here." She's right. But where to go? The shadows already fill the corners, stretching long and thin like they're listening. My wife once said shadows are memory's fingerprints, always clinging, always reminding. Tonight they feel more like warnings. I clutch the key tighter. If the journal is right, this key unlocks more than a chest. It unlocks truth, perhaps even survival. I slip the journal under my coat beside the envelope. My heart pounds with the weight of both. The door shutters again. Splinters fall from the frame. Daniel snarls, "We'll get what's ours one way or another." What's ours? Not what's mine. Not what belonged to their mother. Always theirs. Always taking. I guide Lily toward the back of the study. There's an old cabinet that once hid the fuse box. Few know it still opens to a narrow passage that leads to the cellar. My wife insisted we keep it even after modern renovations. She said every house needs a way out. At the time, I thought she meant fire safety. Now I wonder if she meant escape. The key feels warm now, almost pulsing against my palm. I realize with a start that the cabinet has a lock and the design matches the grooves on the key. My wife planned this. She knew this day might come. I fit the brass into the lock. It turns smoothly, almost too smoothly, and the cabinet door swings open with a low groan. Lily gasps, "Grandpa, she left it for you." I take one last look at the study, the chest, the shadows, the echo of my wife's presence, and step into the passageway, Hilly by my side. The door closes behind us just as the study door bursts open with a crash. Darkness envelops us. Only the faint smell of cedar and earth guides my senses. And as we descend, I understand the key doesn't just open doors. It opens secrets my children were never meant to know. Silence has its own way of speaking. The narrow passage swallows us in darkness. I run my hand along the rough stone wall, each groove damp and cold, guiding us step by cautious step. Lily stays close, her small breaths quick and uneven, echoing in the confined space. I whisper reassurances I barely believe myself. The air is heavy with the scent of earth, as if we've stepped beneath the skin of the house. I feel the brass key still warm in my pocket, pulsing faintly like it carries a heartbeat of its own. My wife's journal and envelope press against my chest, secrets pressing on secrets. At the bottom of the passage, we enter the cellar. The dim light from a single bulb swings above us, flickering in uneven rhythm. Its glow lands on shelves lined with forgotten jars and boxes. Everything smells of dust and damp wood. For a moment, the silence here feels almost safer than the pounding we left upstairs. Almost. I guide Lily to a chair, one that looks sturdier than most. She sits, her eyes darting nervously around the cellar. "Grandpa," she whispers, "it's not over. They'll come." I nod, though my chest tightens. She's right. They won't stop at breaking down one door. They'll search the whole house until they find what they want. I pull the journal from my coat, placing it on an old workbench. Dust swirls as it lands. When I open it again, a loose page slips free and drifts to the floor. I stoop to pick it up and freeze. It's not a page at all. It's a photograph. The edges are yellowed, the corners bent. But the image is clear enough. My wife stands in our garden, smiling gently, holding Lily as a toddler in her arms. But it's the background that chills me, Daniel. And Elise are there too, standing farther back. Their faces turn toward each other, whispering. The way they look at me through the camera, almost feels wrong, calculating. I frown. I don't remember this picture being taken. I certainly never held it. So why is it here hidden in the journal? On the back, in my wife's handwriting, are 4 words they already knew then. My pulse races, already knew what the inheritance, the key, or something worse. Lily leans closer, peering at the photograph. Her small hand trembles as she traces her own face frozen in childhood innocence. "Grandma left this for you," she murmurs. "She wanted you to see." I can barely breathe. My wife anticipated this moment, this war inside our family, long before I did. She hid clues like breadcrumbs, knowing one day I'd have to follow. The light bulb flickers harder. A shadow darts across the wall, too sharp to be caused by us. I turn quickly, heart hammering, but there is nothing. Just boxes stacked high, their labels faded. Winter clothes, old records, tools. Yet something about those boxes feels staged too neat for years of storage. I pull one forward. Dust billows into the air. Beneath the stack, half buried under cobwebs, lies a metal case I've never seen before. It bears the same vine pattern as the journal and the key. My hands shake as I drag it free. It's heavier than it looks. Lily watches silently, her fear mingled with awe. Before I can fit the key into its lock, muffled footsteps thud overhead. Daniel's angry bark filters through the floorboards. "Check the cellar." Lily gasps, clutching my arm. "They're coming." Panic sears through me, but I steady my hands. I slip the photograph into the journal lock, the case under my arm, and pull Lily toward the far corner of the cellar. There, hidden behind an old wardrobe, is another narrow crawl space. I'd nearly forgotten, an old coal chute sealed years ago. My wife once joked it was a perfect hiding place for secrets. The footsteps above grow louder. Dust falls from the ceiling with each stomp. Elise's voice follows. "He has it. I can feel it. Don't let him leave this house." My grip on the brass key tightens. It is more than a key now, it is a lifeline, a map, a weapon, and I cannot let them take it. We squeeze into the crawl space just as the cellar door creaks open. A shaft of light slices the darkness, footsteps descending the stairs. I hold my breath. Lily buries her face against me, her small body trembling. Through the narrow slit, I see Daniel's shoes pause at the bottom step. Silence fills the cellar, heavy and suffocating. Then Daniel speaks, his voice low, certain. "He's here. I can feel it." But I soon realized that wasn't the worst of it. I press Lily deeper into the crawl space, my arm shielding her small frame. My breath slows shallow, each inhale a careful theft of air. The cellar creaks under Daniel's weight. He steps slowly, methodically, like a predator, confident the prey has nowhere left to run. The silence that stretches between his footsteps is worse than the sound itself. Every pause feels like a decision, whether to keep hunting, whether to pounce. I count the beats in my head, 1, 2, 3, then another creak. Above us, Elise's voice floats through the floorboards. She doesn't call out for father, not in grief, but in cold urgency. "Hurry. He won't get far." I can feel Lily's trembling. Her hand grips my coat so tightly the seams bite into my skin. I lean down, whispering close to her ear. "Stay still. Stay quiet." Through the crack in the wardrobe, I watch Daniel move. He stops near the workbench. His hand hovers over the journal I left behind in haste. My pulse spikes. If he opens it, if he sees the photograph, everything will unravel. But he doesn't open it. Instead, he runs his hand across the surface almost reverently. "She left him everything," he mutters. His voice trembles not with sorrow, but with fury. "Everything that should have been ours." His words cut deeper than the pounding earlier. My own son. My blood speaking as if his mother's love, my wife's trust, was nothing more than currency to divide. A glass jar rolls off the shelf behind him, shattering against the floor. He spins, alert eyes narrowing into the shadows. My throat tightens. Did the house itself betray us? The silence that follows is suffocating. He steps closer to the wardrobe, each tread deliberate. The flickering bulb overhead buzzes faintly, the only sound between his movements. I remember something from years ago, a psychological study I once read while teaching at the college. Silence in interrogation rooms often breaks people faster than shouting. The absence of sound forces the mind to fill the void with its own fears. And right now, the silence is breaking me. Daniel places his hand on the wardrobe. My muscles coil. If he pulls it open, he'll find us. I grip the brass key like a dagger, absurdly ready to defend us with a piece of metal barely longer than my finger. But then his phone buzzes. The sharp vibration slices through the cellar like lightning. He curses under his breath, answers it quickly, and turns away. "Yes. Did you check the attic? Fine. I'll keep looking down here." His voice lowers. He can't hide forever. He stomps back up the stairs, the door creaking shut behind him. The silence that follows is worse than his presence. It stretches endless, a void filled with possibilities. Did he really leave, or is he waiting, listening for movement? My ears strain for the smallest sound. Lily exhales shakily, her breath warm against my arm. I know I can't leave the journal behind, not when it may hold the map to everything my wife foresaw. I wait, forcing patience until the silence feels heavy enough to mask a risk. I slip from the crawl space, creeping to the workbench. My fingers close around the journal just as the bulb flickers violently, plunging the cellar into darkness before flaring back to life. For that brief second, I see something in the far corner, an outline taller than any shadow should be standing utterly still. When the light steadies, the corner is empty. My heart hammers. Lily's whisper reaches me, "Grandpa, the house doesn't want us here." Her words settle into me like truth. The silence here is not passive. It is alive, pressing, speaking in its own cruel language. I tuck the journal back into my coat and pull Lily close. "We have to move," I whisper, "now." We slip out of the crawl space and head for the narrow passage that leads deeper beneath the house. Each step is a gamble against silence, the kind that makes you feel watched. As we descend into the darkness, I realize the silence is no longer uneasy. It is waiting. I thought I was safe, but I was wrong. The narrow passage twists beneath the house, its stone walls damp with age. Lily clings to me, her footsteps quick to match mine, though her breath is shallow, uneven. The silence presses hard, broken only by the drip of unseen water. Each drop echoes like a clock ticking down to something inevitable. We reach a low door at the end of the passage. I push it open carefully. The hinges protest with a long groan, and for a heartbeat I fear the sound will summon footsteps above us, but what greets us is worse than I expect: the old wine cellar. The air smells of cork and mold, heavy with the ghosts of gatherings long past. Racks of bottles lean drunkenly against the walls, some shattered, their glass teeth glinting in the dim light. My wife hated this room, called it a place where voices soured. We sealed it off years ago. Yet here we are, driven back into its decay. Lily squeezes my arm. "Grandpa," she whispers, "they're here." And then I hear it, footsteps on the floorboards above, quick, uneven, moving with urgency. Voices follow. Daniel's bark is unmistakable. "Check the basement door again. He couldn't have gone far." Elise answers, her voice tight with impatience. "He's an old man. He'll make a mistake." The words sting sharper than their fists could. To them, I'm no longer a father, just an obstacle. I back into the shadows, guiding Lily with me. But before we can retreat fully, the basement door slams open above. Light spills down the narrow stairs. Two figures descend heavy steps, rattling dust from the ceiling. Daniel leads, his jaw clenched, his eyes wild. Elise follows, her face sharp with fury. The clash comes quickly. "There you are," Daniel sneers, spotting me in the dim light. His hand grips the railing so tightly the wood groans. "I told you we'd find him." Elise steps forward, her eyes narrowing. "Father, give us the key." Her voice is steady, but her hands tremble. I hold Lily behind me, my back straight. "This is your Mother's Day," I say, my voice hoarse but strong, "and you dishonor her with greed." Daniel laughs bitterly. "Greed? She gave everything to you. You who did nothing but age while we built lives of our own. She owed us. That key, what it opens, should be ours." I feel the brass key burning in my palm. My wife's foresight is clearer now than ever. She hid it not from strangers, but from our own children. Elise's voice sharpens. "Don't make this harder than it has to be. Hand it over and we'll let you go." "Let me go." The words twist in my chest. My children speak to me as if I'm a prisoner. I step back, placing Lily further into the shadows. "If you think this key belongs to you, then you never knew your mother at all." Daniel snarls and steps forward, but his foot crushes a fallen bottle. Glass shatters beneath him, echoing like thunder. For a moment he falters, wincing at the sharp edge cutting into his shoe. That small hesitation is enough. "Run, Lily," I whisper. But she doesn't. She stands firm, her voice rising clear and steady. "No. He warned me. Grandma told me never to trust you." Her words land like a strike. Elise's face drains of color. Daniel's jaw tightens. "What did you say?" Elise hisses. "Grandma told me," Lily repeats, her chin trembling but held high. "She told me to protect Grandpa. She said you'd try to take what wasn't yours." Daniel's face twists with fury. He lunges forward. Instinct drives me. I step between him and Lily, raising the key like a blade. The light catches it, casting a sharp gleam across the cellar. For a heartbeat, Daniel freezes. Elise gasps softly. The key's glow unnerves them, as if it holds more than brass and age. I feel it too, the weight of legacy, the truth my wife hid, the battle she foresaw. Daniel recovers quickly, his voice a low growl. "That key won't save you." "Maybe not," I think, "but it will reveal you." The cellar quakes with the tension between us, shadows stretching long and jagged across the walls. Lily clings to my coat, her bravery outshining her years. And in that moment I know the first clash has begun, but the war is only starting. But I soon realized that wasn't the worst of it. Daniel's glare burns into me, his fists clenched, his breath harsh in the damp cellar air. Elise lingers a step behind him, her eyes sharp, calculating. I hold the key out between us like a fragile shield. It trembles in my hand, but not from weakness, rather from the storm I feel rising inside me. "You think that key means anything without the rest?" Daniel snarls. His words unnerve me. The rest? How much do they know? Elise steps forward, her voice calmer but colder. "Father, stop pretending. We know about the documents. Mother kept them hidden, but she couldn't hide them forever. They prove everything." The word documents tightens my chest. I reach for the journal in my coat, but before I can, Elise notices the bulge beneath the fabric. Her lips curl. "You have them already." I shake my head slowly. "Your mother entrusted these to me, not you. She had her reasons." Daniel barks a bitter laugh. "Reasons? You mean she didn't trust her own children?" The silence that follows is answer enough. Before they can close the distance, I pull Lily tighter against me and edge us sideways, weaving between the leaning racks of dusty bottles. My foot strikes something, an old wooden crate. The sound echoes, and I realize too late that I've cornered us near the far wall. Daniel advances. Elise's eyes gleam with triumph. Then Lily gasps, pointing behind them. "The folder, it's gone." Her cry halts them. I blink, confused. "What folder?" She points toward the workbench where I had seen Elise earlier during the search. I peer past their shoulders and see it too, a slim manila folder that had been there when they entered the cellar. I remember noticing it earlier, tucked among old ledgers. Now it is missing. Daniel whirls on Elise. "You said you left it here." "I did," she snaps, her composure cracking. "I placed it right there." Their argument confirms my fear. There was a document, and it held something they desperately wanted. Something tied to the key, to the journal, to the photograph hidden inside. And now it has vanished. A chill ripples through me. If I didn't take it, and they didn't, then who did? The shadows in the cellar seem to deepen, curling along the walls like ink spreading through water. Lily whispers, her voice trembling, "Grandpa, someone else is here." I tighten my grip on her hand. The thought is absurd, yet the cold air, the missing folder, the sense of being watched, it all points to something I cannot deny. Daniel storms toward the workbench, sweeping bottles to the floor in fury. "Find it," he roars. "Without it, this is all useless." Elise crouches, scanning the ground as if the folder might have slipped into the dust. But there is nothing. I edge backward toward the old coal chute, the one my wife once joked was a perfect hiding place. My mind races. Could she have hidden not just objects, but truths that move of their own will? I recall a line from the journal, scrawled in her delicate handwriting. "If they search with greed, they will find nothing. If you search with faith, the house will guide you." My breath catches. Was that what just happened? The folder slipping away unseen, as if the house itself rejected their hands. Lily presses close, whispering urgently, "Grandpa, we have to go before it takes more." Her choice of words unsettles me. It takes more. She speaks as though the house itself is alive, devouring what doesn't belong. Daniel kicks the workbench, sending shards of wood across the floor. He turns, fury radiating. "Father, where is it?" I meet his eyes, my voice steady despite the storm in my chest. "You'll never find it, because it was never yours to begin with." His face twists. He lunges, but Elise grabs his arm. "Not here," she hisses. "We'll corner him upstairs." They retreat, storming back toward the steps. The cellar door slams shut, plunging us once again into uneasy silence. I hold the journal and key, close, my heart pounding. The vanished document leaves behind not just a mystery, but a promise. This war isn't just between me and my children anymore. Something else has joined the game. I thought I was safe, but I was wrong. The cellar door shuts above us with a violent thud. Dust rains from the beam, settling on my shoulders like ash. For a few moments, the silence holds dense, suffocating, but I know it won't last. Daniel and Elise will return, sharper and more determined than before. I guide Lily toward the shadows of the racks, crouching low. Her small hand grips mine tightly, her knuckles pale. "Grandpa," she whispers, "they'll never stop." I nod, though the truth of her words cuts deep. My children are no longer acting like mourners or even family. They are hunters, and I, their prey. We wait in the gloom, but soon faint creaks betray movement above. Not the heavy stomps of searchers, but lighter steps. Guests, relatives, their voices float down, faintly false laughter, empty condolences. Yet beneath it, I sense something darker, a theater of masks. I recall the way they looked at me earlier in the evening before Lily's warning eyes, shifting quickly then away as though avoiding contact. At first I thought it grief. Now I see it for what it was, suspicion. They've been watching me all night. Lily notices too. She peers through the slats of the rack, her eyes sharp. They're pretending Grandpa. They know something. Her words drag me back to the dining room, to that empty chair where my wife once sat. The way no one dared to take it. The way every glance darted toward me when I touched the key in my pocket. They were already waiting for me to reveal myself. I whisper, "What do you think they want?" She hesitates, then shakes her head. Not just the key. They want the truth Grandma hid. The truth, always just out of reach, like a shadow at the edge of sight. I open the journal again, flipping past the not symbol, past the list of dates. Toward the back, I find a passage that makes my skin crawl. If they see you hold it, they will turn their eyes away until the time comes. Watch their glances. They reveal their guilt before their words do. I slam the book shut, my pulse racing. My wife knew this would happen. She even foresaw how their eyes would betray them. The cellar door creaks again, this time not with force but with careful intent. Someone is peering down. I motion Lily to stay silent, pressing her gently behind a rack. A shadow lengthens across the stairs. Elise descends first, her expression calm, but her eyes flick constantly around the cellar. Daniel follows, his lips pressed into a thin line. Father, Elise calls softly, as though her earlier rage never existed. "Please don't make this harder. We're family." Family. The word feels hollow in her mouth. Daniel's gaze sweeps the racks. He lingers on the corners, his eyes narrowing. He knows I'm here, though he doesn't see me yet. His glance flicks to Elise, then back toward the far wall. Something unspoken passes between them. Lily trembles, whispering in my ear. "See? They don't need to talk. Their eyes tell each other everything." She's right. The way Daniel's brow arches, the way Elise tilts her head slightly, it's a conversation without words. Suspicion, strategy, agreement to corner me. I shift the floor, creaking underfoot. Daniel's head snaps in my direction, his lips curl. There. Before he can lunge, Lily darts out from behind the rack, standing between us. Her small body quivers, but her eyes are fierce. "Stop! Grandma warned me about you." Elise freezes, her mask cracking for just a moment. "What did she tell you?" she demands. Lily doesn't answer. She only glares defiant. I step forward, the journal clutched to my chest, the key burning hot in my palm. My voice is steady, even as my heart races. She told us enough. More than you'll ever understand. Daniel snarls, but Elise restrains him with a look, her eyes narrow, darting between me, the journal, and the racks. Suspicion burns there sharper than fire. I know then that this battle won't be fought with fists or shouting. It will be fought with glances, with secrets unearthed, with truths dragged from shadows. And every glance I see in their eyes confirms it. Guilt lives there festering. For a brief moment, no one moves. The cellar hums with tension, silence wrapped tight like a noose. But I soon realize that wasn't the worst of it. The cellar feels smaller with every breath, as if the walls inch closer with each heartbeat. Elise and Daniel stand before me, eyes glinting in the flickering light, their shadows long and jagged against the stone. Lily presses close to my side, her fingers clutching my sleeve. For a moment, none of us speak. The silence stretches until it hums with meaning. Then Daniel breaks it, his voice low, bitter. "Do you remember, Father, when you told me I'd inherit nothing if I couldn't prove myself worthy? I never forgot." His words crash over me like icy water. I do remember. He was 19, reckless, already drowning in debts from gambling. I'd warned him, earn something of your own before demanding what isn't yours. That lesson meant to guide has festered in him as resentment. Elise steps forward, her expression sharp. "And me, do you remember selling the cottage I wanted just to cover his mistakes? You told me sacrifice was part of family, but all I saw was you choosing him over me." Their accusations cut deep, echoes of choices I made decades ago. Choices I believed were necessary, now twisted into weapons. Betrayals they've carried silently, waiting for the chance to strike back. I steady my breath. I did what I thought was best, for all of us. Daniel's laugh is harsh, jagged. "Best for you, maybe. You got to play patriarch while we lived in your shadow." The words hang heavy. Lily's eyes flick to me, searching for reassurance. I squeeze her hand, though my chest feels hollow. In that moment, a memory surfaces, my wife's voice one night after the children had stormed from the dinner table. She'd said softly, "They'll mistake discipline for betrayal. One day, they'll twist it back on you." I had brushed it aside. But now, standing here, I feel her prophecy pressing down on me. The echo of their grievances mingles with my own guilt. Did I fail them as a father? Did I let pride outweigh compassion? My mind turns in circles, searching for answers that refuse to come. Then from the shadows, a sound like a sigh, soft, mournful. All three of us freeze. It's not Lily. It's not me. And from the look on their faces, it isn't them either. The cellar groans as if the house itself remembers. Bottles rattle in their racks, one rolling off to shatter at our feet. Elise recoils, eyes wide. Daniel mutters, "It's just the draft," but his voice wavers. Lily whispers, "It's Grandma." The idea chills me, but part of me believes it. My wife's presence is here not as a ghost to frighten, but as an echo, a reminder of truths buried too long. Elise shakes her head violently as if to banish the thought. Enough of this nonsense. Father, hand over the journal, the key. Now. Her demand drags me back to the moment. I clutch the journal tighter. The betrayal in their eyes is clear. They are no longer asking. They are taking. I straighten my voice firm. You've let bitterness blind you. This house isn't cursed by me, it's cursed by your greed. Daniel steps forward, fury blazing. Don't lecture me. You betrayed us long before tonight. The word betrayal rings through the cellar, bouncing off the stone, echoing in my ears. And for a heartbeat, I wonder if he's right. Did my silence, my sternness betray them before they could betray me? Lily pulls at my sleeve, her whisper urgent. Grandpa, don't believe them. Grandma trusted you. That's why she left you the key. Her faith steadies me. I look at Daniel, then Elise, and I see it clearly. They aren't just angry children. They are reflections of wounds, never healed wounds I may have carved without realizing. But I also see something darker, ambition that no amount of love could have prevented. The shadows shift again. The sigh returns, louder this time, almost a voice. None of us can deny it now. Elise's face drains of color. Daniel grips the railing tighter. For the first time tonight, I see fear in their eyes. But I soon realize that wasn't the worst of it. The sigh drifts away, leaving behind a silence so thick it presses against my skin. Daniel and Elise exchange uneasy glances, the bravado on their faces faltering for the first time tonight. Lily grips my arm, her small fingers cold, her voice barely a whisper. It's guiding us where my eyes roam the cellar walls. Most are lined with stone, damp and unyielding, but one corner draws my attention, the section behind the racks where the mortar looks newer, too clean compared to the rest. My wife once told me this house had secrets layered into its bones, built generation by generation. Was this one of them? I set the journal on the workbench, pulling the brass key from my pocket. Its surface feels warmer than before, almost pulsing. I approach the wall slowly. Daniel snarls, mistaking hesitation for weakness. What do you think you're doing, old man? His voice echoes, but I notice the tremor in it. I ignore him. My fingers trace the mortar lines until I feel it, a faint indentation, like a groove worn from use. A square outline the size of a small door. Elise steps closer, her eyes narrowing. There's nothing there. Stop this madness. But her words lack conviction, as if she fears what I might find. Lily's eyes widen. Grandma told me once, the house has a room no one should enter unless they're ready. Her words chill me. My wife knew. She must have hidden more than letters and photographs. She must have left behind a room, a vault of truth. I press the key into the groove. To my astonishment, it slides perfectly into place, as though the wall itself accepts it. A grinding sound follows stone scraping against stone. Slowly, the outline shifts inward. Dust falls like rain as the wall gives way, revealing a narrow door hidden for decades. Daniel curses under his breath. Elise gasps, her mask of control breaking. Mother, she really did. I push the door open. The air that rushes out is stale, heavy with secrets. Inside the room is small, its walls lined with shelves. Candles long melted to nubs sit in holders along the stone, and in the center an oak table draped in cloth. Lily clutches my sleeve. Grandpa, what is this place? I step inside, the others hovering at the threshold. My voice is low, reverent. Your grandmother's hidden room. On the table lies another box larger than the one upstairs, its lid engraved with the same knot symbol from the journal. My chest tightens. This is what the key has been leading us toward. I hear Daniel move behind me, his breath quick, hungry. Open it, he demands. I turn slowly, meeting his gaze. Do you even hear yourselves? On your mother's Memorial Day, you think only of taking. Elise's lips tremble. If she hid it from us, it means she never trusted us. I shake my head. No, she hid it because she knew what greed would do to you. The room hums with tension. Shadows stretch longer than they should, bending strangely against the walls. The flickering bulb in the cellar behind us dims, as though the house itself disapproves of this intrusion. I place the brass key into the lock of the box. It fits perfectly. My hand hesitates. This is the moment answers await inside. But what if the truth is worse than betrayal? Daniel lunges forward. Open it now. Before I can react, Lily steps between us, her small body firm as a shield. No, she cries, her voice fierce. Grandma said it was for Grandpa, not you, never you. Her words cut through the air like lightning. Daniel freezes, rage and shame warring in his face. Elise looks away, unable to meet my eyes. I rest my hand gently on Lily's shoulder. She's right. This is not for you. With a slow breath, I turn the key. The lock clicks, a sound both terrifying and inevitable. The lid creaks open. Inside lies not gold, not jewels, but a stack of documents bound with ribbon alongside a leather-bound book. On top rests a single folded paper. In my wife's handwriting, "For the moment, you are ready." My throat closes. Ready for what? Before I can lift it, the shadows shift again, darker this time, stretching toward us. Lily gasps, clutching my arm. Elise stumbles back. Daniel's eyes dart around the room, fear cracking his mask. And in that moment, I understand the hidden room doesn't just store secrets. It tests those who enter. Silence has its own way of speaking. The folded paper on top of the stack trembles slightly in the draft that seeps through the hidden room. I stare at it, my wife's handwriting pulling me back through decades of memory. The familiar slant of her letters, the delicate loops, an unmistakable trace of her hand. My throat tightens. Even in death, she still speaks to me. I lift the paper slowly, my fingers brushing the fragile fibers. The ribbon around the rest of the documents remains untouched, but this letter feels urgent, meant to be read before anything else. Lily peers at it wide-eyed, her whisper trembling. "Grandpa, it's for you." I unfold it carefully. The ink has faded, but the words are clear. My love, if you are reading this, it means the shadows have turned against us. The children may stand with you, or they may stand against you, but you must not falter. What I could not say in life I leave here. Trust the key. Trust the girl. Do not trust the glances of those who turn away too quickly. They already know what they have done. I stop breathing. Trust the girl. My eyes shift to Lily. She looks back at me with a solemnity far beyond her years. My wife foresaw not only betrayal, but the one soul in this family who would remain untainted. Daniel notices the letter in my hands. His eyes narrow. What does it say? I fold it back quickly, tucking it inside my coat. It's not for you. His jaw tightens. Everything in this house belongs to us. Elise takes a step forward, her voice softer, almost pleading. Father, please, don't let her words drive us apart. We just want to understand. Her tone wavers, but I see the hunger in her eyes. She doesn't want to understand, she wants to claim. The shadows in the corners ripple, stretching unnaturally across the floor. Lily grips my sleeve. Grandma's here, she whispers. She's listening. A bottle topples from one of the cellar racks outside the hidden room, shattering against stone. All three of us flinch. Daniel mutters a curse, but his voice quivers. Elise's hand shakes where it clutches the doorframe. I remember something my wife once told me after her illness began, when she grew frail, but her eyes burned brighter than ever. She said, paper carries truth longer than lips. A letter can outlive lies. At the time, I thought she was comforting herself with poetry. Now her words ring like prophecy. This letter isn't just comfort, it's warning, a thread pulling me forward. I set the rest of the documents aside, unwilling to reveal them yet. Instead, I grip the leather-bound book beneath them. The cover bears the same knot pattern, deeper etched than before. I know instinctively that it holds answers about the inheritance, about the secret Daniel and Elise chase like wolves. But I don't open it yet, not with their eyes burning holes through me. Show us! Daniel demands, stepping closer. His shadow stretches across the table, jagged, swallowing the letter's place. Lily stands taller, her small voice sharp. No, Grandma said it was his, only his. The courage in her tone startles even me. Elise falters, her face twitching as if struck. For a brief moment, she looks not like the woman who cornered me, but like the girl who once clung to her mother's apron, desperate for approval. Daniel, though, hardens. If you won't give it willingly, then we'll take it. He reaches for the book. I slam my hand down on it, the key pressed against the leather. The symbol glows faintly in the dim light, a shimmer that makes him recoil as if burned. The silence deepens, vibrating in the walls. The air grows colder. It feels as though the room itself is choosing sides. Lily whispers, Grandpa, it wants you to open it, not them. I meet Daniel's glare, Elise's wavering eyes, and I know the choice before me: reveal the truth now and risk the storm, or guard it longer and risk losing everything. My wife's letter rings in my ears. Trust the key. Trust the girl. I rest my hand on Lily's shoulder, steadying myself. Then slowly I turn the key against the book's clasp. The lock clicks open, the sound sharp and final. The moment stretches unbearable, the shadows shift closer, and I realize whatever truth lies inside this book will not only divide us further, it may destroy us. I thought I was safe, but I was wrong. The clasp snaps open, and for a moment I just stare at the leather-bound book. It sits heavy beneath my palm as if it carries more than words, like it contains the weight of the family itself. Lily's eyes fix on me wide, urging me forward. Daniel and Elise hover at the threshold of the hidden room, their breaths uneven, their gazes sharp with hunger and fear. I lift the cover. The pages creak, stiff with age. Inside are notes written in my wife's familiar hand, but these aren't letters of comfort. They're records, meticulous, damning. Transactions, property deeds, quiet transfers of wealth. She'd documented everything the family owned, not in the names my children assumed, but in mine and in Lily's. My heart stumbles. She bypassed Daniel and Elise entirely. Daniel sees the shock in my face and lunges forward. What is it? What does it say? I snap the book shut. Nothing you need to know. Elise's voice trembles. Don't lie to us, Father. You've been hiding this all along. That's why she trusted you with the key. Her words twist like knives. They think trust was betrayal, that their mother's faith in me was proof of conspiracy. Outside the hidden room, the storm begins. The low rumble of thunder rolls through the earth. The house itself shivers dust raining from the beams above. A gust of cold air seeps in, extinguishing one of the cellar's candles. Lily clutches my sleeve tighter. Grandpa, it's starting. I feel it too. The storm isn't just outside. It's inside us. It's in Daniel's clenched fists, Elise's trembling lips, my own racing heart. The storm is years of silence, choices made and never forgiven, truths buried under layers of duty. Daniel's eyes blaze. You'll regret keeping this from us. He steps fully into the hidden room, now the threshold crossed. Elise follows, though slower, her glance flicking nervously to the shadows stretching along the walls. For a brief moment I see them as children again, the boy with scraped knees demanding fairness, the girl clutching her doll, crying when I told her no. And I feel the pang of what we once were, but the storm has changed them. Elise whispers almost to herself, she knew we'd turn against you. The admission hangs heavy in the air. Daniel rounds on her. Don't say that. But it's true, she snaps back, her voice cracking. Look at us, we're fighting over scraps while she left everything to him. Their eyes meet, lightning between them. This isn't unity, it's fracture. I remember a proverb my wife once loved, one her Irish grandmother told her. The storm does not break the house, it reveals its cracks. That's what this night has become, our cracks laid bare. Daniel points at me, his hand shaking. Give me the book, Father, or so help me. The thunder outside cracks loud enough to shake the walls. The shelves rattle, bottles tumbling to the floor, shattering into shards. Elise screams, ducking as glass explodes across the stone. Lily cries out, and I shield her with my arm. The shadows whip violently along the walls, bending in unnatural shapes. For the first time, Daniel's bravado falters. He stumbles back a step, eyes darting to the corners. What is this? Lily's voice rises above the storm, fierce and steady. Grandma's protecting us. Elise's face pales, her hands trembling. No, this is madness. But deep down, we all feel it. The storm isn't just weather. It's the house itself, her spirit woven into its walls, warning us, pushing us towards something inevitable. I tuck the book into my coat beside the journal, the key pressed firmly in my hand. My voice is steady despite the chaos. If you want answers, you'll have to survive the storm with me. The thunder booms again, closer this time. The cellar shakes as if the earth itself resents us. Daniel glares at me, but his fear betrays him. Elise looks torn, her eyes flicking between me and the door. And Lily stands unflinching, her hand in mine, the storm reflected in her gaze. And in that moment I realize the storm isn't coming, it's here. But I soon realize that wasn't the worst of it. The storm roars louder, shaking the house to its bones. Dust rains from the beams. Shadows whip against the walls like dark waves, bending and curling with unnatural intent. Lily's hand clutches mine, small but unyielding, though I feel her trembling. Her courage has been extraordinary, but she is still a child, and children can only bear so much. I turn to her, brushing a strand of hair from her face. We'll be all right, I whisper. The lie tastes bitter. Her eyes glisten, and the tears finally come. Silent at first, then spilling down her cheeks in thin rivulets. She doesn't sob loudly, she holds her breath as though afraid even her grief might summon something worse. But her tears cut me deeper than Daniel's threats or Elise's accusations. "Grandpa?" she whispers, voice breaking. "Why do they hate you? Why do they hate me?" The question lances through me. My children's greed is one thing, but Lily's pain, pure, undeserved tears at my heart. I kneel so we're face to face, even as the room shudders around us. "They don't hate you, Lily," I say, though my voice falters. "They hate what they've become, and they see in us a truth they can't bear." Daniel scoffs from across the room, his bravado cracking but not broken. "Don't fill her head with lies, Father. You've poisoned enough of this family already." Elise doesn't speak. She stares at Lily, her face, pale lips pressed together, eyes shining with something she tries to hide. Guilt, perhaps. Lily's tears drip onto my sleeve. She clings tighter. "Grandma told me once," she said, "when the storm comes, don't let go of Grandpa's hand." Her words are soft, but they pierce through the noise. My wife's foresight chills me anew. She prepared Lily for this night, for this battle none of us knew was coming. I hold her hand firmer. She was right. We'll face this together. Thunder cracks again, rattling the hidden room. One of the shelves collapses, scattering papers across the floor. Among them, another photograph slips free, landing at my feet. I pick it up, my hand shaking. It shows the four of us years ago, me, my wife, Daniel, and Elise, posed in front of this very house. At first, it seems ordinary, but then I notice it in the upstairs window. A shadowy figure peers out. No one else lived here then. My chest tightens. Had the house always kept another presence, one my wife knew and I ignored? Elise sees the photo and gasps. Her composure cracks. She murmurs, her voice trembling. Mother knew about it all along. Daniel snaps at her, his tone sharp. "Stop it. Don't let him twist you." But Elise's eyes glisten now, mirroring Lily's tears. The storm is breaking more than wood and glass. It is breaking illusions. I slip the photograph into the journal, tucking it away before Daniel can seize it. The storm may be tearing us apart, but it also delivers fragments of truth piece by piece. Lily sniffles, her tears slowing, though her grip never loosens. I murmur softly, "Crying doesn't make you weak, Lily. It means your heart is still strong enough to feel." She nods, pressing her face against my coat. Her tears soak the fabric, and I let them. She has carried too much tonight. Daniel steps forward again, his anger renewed. "Enough of this sentiment. That book, those documents, they're ours. Hand them over, or the storm will bury us all." I rise slowly, placing myself between him and Lily. My wife's letter echoes in my mind. Trust the key. Trust the girl. The storm outside crescendos, rattling the door to the hidden room. The candlelight flickers wildly, shadows twisting until they almost take shape, figures reaching, whispering warning. Elise presses herself against the wall, her face pale as chalk. She whispers one word, barely audible over the thunder, "Mother." Daniel turns on her, furious. "Don't you start!" But Elise's tears join Lily's, now silent but unstoppable. The storm has claimed her too, dragging her past resentments into the open. I realize then tears are not weakness. They are truth spilling out, refusing to be hidden any longer. And though Daniel still rages, I see fear flicker in his eyes. But I soon realized that wasn't the worst of it. The storm rages overhead, rattling the beams, but through the chaos, another sound threads its way into my ears. A whisper, faint, elusive, like breath slipping through cracks in the stone. I freeze, straining to hear. At first I think it's Lily, but her face is pressed into my coat, silent now except for the soft hitch of her breath. Elise, pale and trembling, stares wide-eyed at the walls, her lips parted but still. Daniel stands rigid, his fists clenched, watching me with fury but saying nothing. Yet the whisper continues. It comes not from the hidden room but from the hallway beyond the cellar. Words fragmented, hushed, bleeding through the narrow door we left ajar. Has it... not safe? And watch him. The hair on my neck rises. These aren't Daniel's or Elise's voices, nor are they the guests upstairs whose laughter has long since died into strained murmurs. No, these whispers are older, layered, as though the walls themselves carry memories of conversations never meant to be heard again. Lily lifts her head, her tear-streaked cheeks glistening in the candlelight. "Do you hear them, Grandpa?" I nod slowly. Yes. Daniel scoffs, but his voice cracks. "You're imagining things. He's filling your head with nonsense, Lily." But the whispers grow clearer. The storm outside punctuates them with thunder, yet between each crash I catch words sharp enough to wound. It's betrayal. The will changed. He doesn't know. My breath catches. The will. Did my wife alter it? Was that why she left the key, the journal, all these secrets? Elise's hands fly to her mouth, her voice trembling. "I heard it too, Mother. She..." Daniel grabs her arm roughly. "Shut up. There's nothing here but dust and ghosts." Lily pulls at my sleeve. Grandma said the house remembers everything, every lie, every promise. That's what you're hearing. Her words spoken with conviction pierce me. Could it be true that the whispers are not hauntings, but echoes of our own sins, replayed until someone listens? I step toward the hallway, heart pounding. The whispers grow louder with each step weaving around me. He kept it from them. The girl must know. The storm will break them. The voice is faint, but familiar, my wife's. My knees nearly give way. I press a hand to the wall for balance, and the stone is warm, pulsing faintly under my touch. Daniel snarls, stepping after me. "Stop listening to this madness!" His shout drowns the whispers for a moment, but as his echo fades, the voices return sharper. Blood cannot be trusted. Only love will carry it. I turn to Lily. She looks at me with wide, unwavering eyes, and I realize the whispers aren't warnings for me alone. They are meant for her, too. She is part of this story, part of the secret. Elise begins to sob quietly, her voice breaking. She knew. She knew we'd destroy each other. Daniel shakes her violently. Enough. Do you want him to win? Do you want the girl to take everything? His words slice through me. Not just greed now, but envy of a child, his own niece. The storm outside cracks again, shaking the cellar door. Shadows writhe across the floor like serpents. I grip the key tightly. The whispers surge louder, all voices overlapping, now too many to distinguish. Some I recognize, some I don't. Past generations' old betrayals. The house hums with them, alive with memory. And through the chaos, one phrase stands out clear, strong, unmistakable. The truth is in the will. My chest tightens. The vanished document, the folder that slipped away earlier. That must have been it. I turn back to Daniel and Elise. You hear it too, I say, my voice hard. Don't deny it. Elise nods, trembling. Daniel opens his mouth, but the fear in his eyes betrays him before he can speak. The hallway breathes another whisper colder than the storm. Someone else already knows it. Lily grips my hand, her voice quivering. Grandpa, we're not alone. And I realize the whispers aren't just memory. They're warning us of something or someone still here. I thought I was safe, but I was wrong. The words from the hallway echo in my skull. The truth is in the will. The storm outside growls, but it is nothing compared to the storm inside me, my wife's foresight. Her secrets all converge on one revelation. The vanished folder, the one Elise swore she left on the workbench, contained her final will. My grip tightens around the journal and the key. If the will is missing, then someone else already has it. The thought chills me more than Daniel's rage or Elise's trembling denial. Daniel's eyes dart nervously. He masks it with fury, but I see the panic underneath. If Mother changed the will, he spits. She did it under your influence. You twisted her. The accusation stabs deep. I shake my head, my voice hard. Your mother had her own mind, stronger than mine, stronger than yours. If she changed the will, it's because she saw what greed had done to this family. Elise presses her back against the wall, her face pale. I saw the envelope. I swear I did. But when I turned back, it was gone. Her eyes widen, her breath quickening. Father, who took it? The silence that follows is heavier than the thunder outside. Lily looks up at me, her small voice trembling. Grandpa, the house doesn't let liars keep what isn't theirs. That's why it disappeared. Her words settle like truth. I recall the journal's line, if they search with greed, they will find nothing. If you search with faith, the house will guide you. Could it be that the will itself slipped from greedy hands, that it is hidden now, waiting for the one meant to claim it? Daniel growls. Nonsense. Someone stole it. One of the guests upstairs maybe, or you're hiding it yourself. He takes a step forward, fists clenched, veins bulging at his temples. I hold up the key. Its brass glints in the dim light. I don't need to hide anything. The truth will reveal itself soon enough. Elise shakes her head violently. No, if the will is missing, it means none of us can prove anything. The house, the money, everything, it'll go to the courts. Strangers will decide what happens to Mother's life. Her words carry panic, but beneath it, I hear desperation. Not grief for her mother, but fear of losing what she believes is hers. Lily clings to my sleeve. Grandpa, don't let them take it. Grandma wanted you to find it first. I kneel beside her, lowering my voice. And I will. But not by tearing this family apart. We must let the truth come on its own. Another whisper drifts from the hallway, soft yet sharp. It is hidden where love still lingers. I freeze. The phrase slices through the tension like a blade. Elise gasps audibly. Daniel swears under his breath. Where love still lingers. My mind spins. Not the study, not the cellar. Not these rooms poisoned by suspicion. Where then? A memory surfaces my wife's garden. Her roses tended daily even in her final months when her hands trembled, but she still insisted on pruning each thorn. That was the last place love truly lingered untouched by bitterness. I rise slowly, tucking the journal and key into my coat. I know where to look, I murmur. Daniel lunges, blocking the doorway, not without us. His eyes burn with a mix of fear and greed. Elise hesitates, but then steps beside him, her gaze lowered. If the will is hidden, we all deserve to see it. I glare at them both. You don't deserve anything, but perhaps you need to see. The storm outside cracks like judgment rattling the walls. The candlelight flickers violently, throwing their suspicious glances into sharp relief. Elise avoids my eyes. Daniel won't blink. And Lily, though trembling, stands firm, her hand in mine. The missing will has become more than paper. It is the battlefield, the prize, the prophecy. Whoever finds it first will hold not just inheritance, but truth. But I soon realized that wasn't the worst of it. We leave the hidden room behind, stepping back into the cellar. The storm outside still howls, but the air feels different now, charged as if the house itself is holding its breath. Lily clings to my side, her small steps quick to match mine. Daniel and Elise follow close, not out of loyalty, but out of fear of being left behind. Then, through the din of thunder and the groan of beams overhead, another sound breaks through the creak of the front door upstairs. A voice calls into the house, firm and unfamiliar, yet commanding enough to freeze us where we stand. Mr. Hargrave. I stiffen. That name, my name spoken with authority. Lily looks up at me, her eyes wide. Elise clasps her hands together nervously, and Daniel curses under his breath. The voice comes again. It's Harold Whitmore, your wife's attorney. The cellar spins around me. My wife's attorney. Here tonight. She must have arranged this. Of course she did. She always thought 2 steps ahead. Daniel snarls, his mask cracking. Why is he here? Elise whispers, her voice quivering. Because Mother planned it. We climb the cellar stairs cautiously. At the top, standing in the doorway, is a tall man in a long coat, rain dripping from his hat. He carries a leather briefcase, worn but polished as if it's been cared for meticulously. His gaze sweeps the room with the sharpness of someone used to uncovering lies. Mr. Hargrave, he says again, nodding to me. Forgive my intrusion, but your late wife requested I arrive on this date at this hour, no matter the weather. My chest tightens. She knew. She orchestrated this. Daniel forces a smile that doesn't reach his eyes. Mr. Whitmore, you should have called first. This isn't the time. The lawyer cuts him off smoothly. Your mother was precise with her instructions. She said the family would gather tonight and that my presence would be necessary. He places the briefcase on the table, snapping it open. Inside are several envelopes neatly sealed, each marked with names. Mine, Daniel's, Elise's, and one smaller written in her graceful hand for Lily. Elise gasps. Daniel's face drains of color. Whitmore clears his throat. Your mother revised her will 6 months ago. She feared that old grievances would cloud judgment. Tonight, I am to read her final words. The storm rattles the windows as if punctuating his statement. I grip Lily's hand tighter. She squeezes back, her small fingers trembling. Daniel steps forward, his tone sharp. This is ridiculous. My mother would never change the will without telling us. Whitmore raises a brow. Are you certain? She sat in my office, quite clear in her intentions. She said her children were blind with ambition, but her husband and granddaughter still carried her love. The words strike like lightning. Elise crumples into a chair, tears slipping silently down her cheeks. Daniel glares at her, then at me, fury boiling. Lies, he spits. You put her up to this. Whitmore doesn't flinch. I only carry her wishes. He opens the envelope marked with my name, unfolding the letter. To my husband, you were my anchor. I leave you the authority to guard what remains of this family until it can heal. Trust Lily, for she sees with clear eyes. Protect her. I swallow hard, my vision blurring. Even in death, she speaks with the same quiet certainty that once guided me through every storm. Whitmore then lifts Lily's envelope. Her small hands shake as she takes it, looking to me for permission. I nod. She opens it carefully, revealing only one line written in her grandmother's graceful script, "The key belongs to you." Gasps ripple through the room. Daniel slams his fist against the table. Elise covers her mouth with both hands, whispering, "Mother, she chose the child." The lawyer closes his case calmly. There is more, but it must be revealed in proper sequence. Tomorrow we will meet to finalize the details. His gaze hardens. Until then, I suggest you reflect on her words. He turns toward the door, his coat sweeping behind him, leaving the scent of rain in his wake. The latch clicks as he exits, swallowed by the storm. Silence follows thick and heavy. Daniel's chest heaves, his fists clenched. Elise sobs quietly, and Lily, clutching the letter to her heart, looks up at me with a strange mixture of fear and determination. My wife's voice echoes in my mind. Trust the key. Trust the girl. But I soon realized that wasn't the worst of it. The front door shuts behind Mr. Whitmore, leaving the house wrapped in storm and silence. Rain lashes the windows, thunder rattles the glass, yet the louder sound is Daniel's ragged breathing, the fury boiling inside him like a fire about to consume everything in its path. He slams both fists against the table, rattling the lawyer's envelopes that remain unopened. This is a trick. His voice cracks, desperate but dangerous. Mother never would have cut me out. Not me. Elise sits slumped in her chair, her face pale, streaked with tears. Stop it, Daniel. You heard him. You heard her words. She didn't trust us. Daniel whirls on, her eyes blazing. No, she didn't trust you. She always said I'd be the one to carry the family forward. Father poisoned her against us, against me. The accusation cuts deep, though not for the reason Daniel thinks. I did warn their mother about Daniel's debts, his lies, but it was never poison. It was truth she already knew. Lily clutches her letter to her chest, her small voice trembling but clear. Grandma didn't lie. She wanted me to have the key. Daniel spins toward her, and for the first time tonight, his mask slips fully. His face twists ugly with rage. You, a child. You've done nothing. You've earned nothing. That key belongs to me. I step between them, the brass key burning hot in my fist. Enough. My voice carries through the storm, louder than the thunder. Your mother saw through your lies long ago. That's why she hid everything. That's why she left it to Lily. The room falls silent, save for the pounding rain. Elise looks up at me, her eyes haunted. Father, what lies? What did she know? I hesitate, but the truth has been pressing at my chest for too long. My wife's journal is heavy against my coat. I pull it free, flipping to the back where her words lie sharp as daggers. He forged signatures. He drained accounts. He thought no one saw. I slam the journal shut, staring straight at Daniel. Your mother knew about the money you stole, the properties you sold behind our backs. She kept every record. She forgave more than I ever would have. But in the end, she could not trust you. Elise gasps, her hands flying to her mouth. Daniel, is it true? His silence is answer enough. His jaw clenches. His fists tighten. His eyes burn with fury, but he doesn't deny it. Elise sobs, her shoulders shaking. You ruined us. All this time you let me blame Father while you… Shut up, Daniel roars, his voice raw. He grabs her arm, yanking her to her feet. Don't you turn on me now! But Elise wrenches free, tears streaming. For the first time tonight, she looks at me not with suspicion, but with shattered understanding. She knew. Mother knew everything. The storm outside answers with a deafening crack of thunder, shaking the house as if the walls themselves cry out in judgment. Daniel staggers back, his bravado crumbling under the weight of exposure. It doesn't matter, he mutters almost to himself. The will is gone. Without it, none of this can be proven. His eyes flick to me, dark with desperation. Unless you're hiding it too. I step closer, my voice low, steady. The will find its way to the truth, just as the house brought us here tonight. You can't bury what you've done, Daniel. Not anymore. He snarls, but there is no strength behind it now. His shoulders sag, his fury hollow. Elise sobs quietly, her betrayal raw and fresh. And Lily, brave. Lily stands firm at my side, clutching her grandmother's letter like a shield. The storm quiets for a moment, the silence heavy, broken only by the drip of rain through the gutters. And in that pause, I realize the lie has been unmasked. The truth has broken through the cracks. But I soon realized that wasn't the worst of it. The moment Daniel's silence admits guilt, the house erupts. Elise's sobs rise into wails, raw and broken, while Daniel rages, kicking over a chair, his shouts echoing off the walls. It's not true. None of it. She lied. The storm outside howls in answer, rattling windows, hurling rain against glass like stones. A candle topples from the table, splattering wax across the wood. Shadows leap wildly, twisting into grotesque shapes. Relatives from the other rooms push into the hall, their faces, pale eyes darting. They've heard enough to sense the fracture, and now the whole house seems to feed on it. Voices rise in confusion, some calling Daniel's name, others Elise's, some pleading for calm. No one listens. Stay back! Daniel roars, waving them away like intruders. His chest heaves, his face, crimson veins bulging at his neck. This is mine. All of it. Elise staggers to her feet, her sobs dissolving into shrill accusation. You ruined us. Daniel, mother knew, father knew, and you let me believe it was all their fault. Her voice cracks. You betrayed me too. Her words hit him harder than any blow. He reels, eyes flashing with shame and rage, then lunges at her. I step forward, blocking his path, the brass key still clutched in my fist. Enough! My voice slices through the noise. For an instant, silence quivers in the air. But then Daniel laughs, a jagged, broken sound. You think that key gives you power? He snarls. It's just metal. You're an old man clinging to scraps. Without the will, it's worthless. Lily steps beside me, her small voice cutting through the chaos like a bell. Grandma trusted us, not you. She holds up her letter, her tiny hands trembling but firm. Gasps ripple through the relatives, eyes swing toward her, widening at the sight of her grandmother's handwriting. A child chosen over them all. Murmurs rise, doubt, envy, disbelief. Daniel's fury explodes. She's just a child, he shouts, his voice cracking. A pawn. She doesn't deserve anything. Elise snaps back. She deserves more than you ever did. The house groans, a deep shudder rolling through the beams. Plaster cracks across the ceiling. A vase topples and smashes on the floor. The storm has seeped inside, into the walls, into us. Relatives scatter, some rushing to the exits, others clutching one another in fear. But Daniel doesn't move. His eyes lock on me, wild and dangerous. If you won't give it, I'll take it. He lunges again, but this time Elise throws herself in front of him. Stop! She screams, her tears streaming. Haven't you done enough? They grapple, brother and sister, their fury spilling out in violent shouts and accusations. Decades of resentment pour into every word. Elise strikes his chest with her fist, sobbing. You stole from us. You stole from me. Daniel shoves her back. She stumbles, nearly falling. Gasps erupt from the watching relatives. I rush forward, standing between them, my chest heaving, my voice thunderous. This ends now. The journal and the book press heavy against me, the key hot in my palm. I realize these objects are not just heirlooms, they are anchors. Without them, the storm inside this house will consume us all. The whispers return, threading through the chaos, louder now, impossible to ignore. Voices overlapping, rising from the very walls. The truth, the will, hidden where love lingers. Daniel freezes, his rage faltering at the sound. Elise covers her ears, trembling. The relatives scatter further, murmuring prayers. Lily presses against me, whispering, They're telling you, Grandpa. They want you to finish it. I steady myself, holding the key aloft. The voices hush the storm outside, pausing as if waiting. All eyes turn toward me, even Daniel's, even Elise's. And in that unbearable silence, I understand the house itself is demanding resolution. But I soon realize that wasn't the worst of it. In the midst of chaos, Lily stands firm, a small beacon of clarity. Her hands clutch the letter from her grandmother, her tiny fingers white-knuckled, yet she doesn't waver. The storm outside thrashes against the windows, rattling the walls, but she remains unshaken. I look down at her, my chest swelling with both pride and sorrow. 12 years old, yet she carries the wisdom of our family's history, the foresight of her grandmother, and the courage to face her own kin. She is the only one here who sees truth clearly, who understands the weight of the key in my hand. Daniel paces, fists clenched, his eyes darting between us and the hidden room. Elise sits on the floor, sobbing quietly, her hands covering her face. Both of them are exhausted from the storm raging inside and outside the house, yet Lily's resolve does not falter. She steps forward, voice firm despite the quiver in her small frame. Grandpa, we can't let them take it. Grandma trusted us. She trusted you. Her words carry more weight than any argument I could make. The room falls silent, the storm seeming to pause in reverence. Even Daniel stops pacing, his shadow looming over the scattered papers and broken furniture, but he doesn't speak. I kneel to her level, placing a hand gently on her shoulder. Your grandmother was right, I whisper. The key, the journal, the will, it all belongs to the one who respects it, and she saw that respect in you. Lily nods, determination settling over her like armor. She straightens her back, her gaze sweeping the room, landing first on Daniel and then Elise. This house has protected the truth for years. It won't let you destroy it. Daniel snarls, but there's uncertainty in his eyes. The fury that drove him moments ago is now tangled with fear, a fear born of knowing that the house, the very walls that have witnessed decades of lies and betrayal, sides with truth, not with greed. Elise looks at her brother, then at Lily. Tears streak down her cheeks, yet there's a dawning understanding in her eyes. The confrontation she hoped to win is slipping through her fingers. She whispers almost to herself, Mother, she planned everything. The storm outside peaks a deafening clap of thunder, shaking the walls and rattling the windows. I realize that the tempest mirrors the emotional storm within our family, decades of resentment, greed, and betrayal now crashing against the rocks of truth and courage. I glance down at Lily again. Your strength tonight. It's what your grandmother wanted. She believed in you, and now you must believe in yourself. She swallows hard, nodding, and a quiet calm spreads over her features. It's not childish naivety. It's the quiet strength of someone who knows the weight of responsibility and accepts it willingly. Daniel mutters half to himself, half to the room. If she has the key. If she has the documents. His voice trails off, uncertainty creeping in. Elise stands wiping her tears. We can't force this. She was chosen for a reason. Her voice is small, tentative, but the truth in her words is undeniable. The house seems to settle around us, shadows receding the air lighter, though still charged with residual tension. The storm outside begins to abate, the rain easing into a steady patter. Lily turns to me, holding the grandmother's letter tightly. Grandpa, it's our turn now. We have to protect it. I place the brass key in her hand. Its weight is more than metal. It is legacy, trust, and power distilled into something tangible. She lifts it, holding it like a torch, a symbol of responsibility she understands even as the others falter. Daniel steps back, Elise beside him. The fight has drained them, their fury replaced by reluctant respect, or perhaps the beginning of reckoning. They may never forgive fully, but the house, the will, and Lily's courage have unmasked the truth that no lie could suppress. The quiet strength of one small child, guided by her grandmother's foresight, has shifted the tide. And I realize with a chill that travels down my spine that the storm may have ended, but the revelations are far from over. But I soon realize that wasn't the worst of it. The house is quiet now, save for the soft patter of rain against the windows. The storm outside has eased, but inside the air hums with a tension older than the walls themselves. The hidden room, the journal, the key, all of it converges in a single unbearable moment. Daniel stands across from me, shoulders tense, fists clenched, eyes wild. He is a man stripped bare by his own choices, and yet he refuses to surrender. Elise lingers behind him, shaky, uncertain, still holding on to the remnants of her defiance. I step forward, Lily at my side, her small hand wrapped tightly around the brass key. She has grown into a presence far beyond her years, a living conduit of her grandmother's foresight. I feel the weight of her trust and my wife's intentions pressing against me. Daniel, I say, my voice steady, carrying across the quiet room. This ends tonight. The lies, the theft, the deceit, it all stops here. He laughs low and bitter. You think a key and a few letters can stop what's already been done? You've had your secrets, Father. We've had ours. This family is broken. I shake my head slowly. You don't understand. You were never meant to carry the family's legacy. You were only meant to protect yourselves. And you failed. Elise steps forward, voice trembling. Father, please, can't we? Silence. Daniel roars, but even he falters under the weight of my gaze. The brass key in Lily's hand gleams faintly in the dim light, almost alive, almost demanding attention. I reach into my coat and pull out the grandmother's letter, unfolding it carefully. I read aloud, each word deliberate, each phrase piercing the tension. To my children, your father and I trusted you with love, but you chose ambition over family. The key, the will, the journal, all are meant for those who honor what is right, not what is convenient. Daniel steps forward, voice shaking. It's her fault. She made you believe. I raise my hand, cutting him off. No. This was never my choice alone. It was hers. Every precaution, every secret, every warning, you ignored them, and now you see why. Elise covers her mouth, eyes wide. Mother, she knew. She knew everything we were capable of. I nod slowly. She knew, and she prepared for it. That is why Lily holds the key. That is why I hold the journal. That is why the will hidden cannot be taken by force or by greed. Daniel's face contorts with rage and disbelief. You're lying. You've manipulated everything. I step closer, closing the distance between us. Look around you. The house itself bears witness. Every whisper, every shadow, every trembling candle has seen your choices. And the truth, our truth, is finally here. Lily steps forward, raising the brass key. Grandpa, we will do what Grandma asked. We will protect the truth, and you must accept it. Daniel's lips tremble. His eyes flicker between us and the key, between his own greed and the unrelenting weight of exposure. He staggers back, finally realizing that no amount of shouting, no amount of anger can reverse what has been set in motion. Elise drops to her knees, sobbing, her defiance dissolved into raw acknowledgement. Mother, she saw us. she whispers, voice breaking. She knew we couldn't be trusted. The storm outside begins to fade, the wind easing the rain, softening to a gentle drizzle. Shadows retreat, but their memory lingers in the corners of the house, in the shattered furniture, in the broken silence that has been replaced by reckoning. I stand there, Lily at my side, holding the key that represents not power, but responsibility. The confrontation has ended, but the echoes of betrayal, greed, and revelation will linger for years to come. Daniel finally sinks into a chair, defeated. Elise rests her head on her knees, weeping quietly, and for the first time tonight, I feel a fragile, tentative calm descend. The storm has passed. But in the back of my mind, I know this peace is only temporary. Secrets once hidden never stay buried forever. And I soon realized that wasn't the worst of it. The storm has passed. The house, once alive with whispers and shadows, now rests in quiet reflection. The broken furniture, scattered papers, and overturned chairs are silent witnesses to the chaos that unfolded, a testament to choices made and truths revealed. Lily sits beside me, the brass key warm in her small hand. Her eyes, once wide with fear, now hold a spark of understanding. She knows, as I do, that the legacy of this family is not built on wealth or power, but on trust, courage, and the careful stewardship of truth. Daniel and Elise remain in the room, subdued. Their anger has faded, replaced by the heavy weight of realization. Betrayal cannot be undone, but recognition is the first step toward redemption. The house, my wife's careful planning, and Lily's quiet strength have exposed what greed tried to conceal. I look around at what remains: the journal, the hidden room, the envelopes from the lawyer, and I understand that the past will always echo in these walls. But now, at last, there is clarity. I place my hand on Lily's shoulder. Remember this always. Courage and integrity are more powerful than anger and ambition. Your grandmother trusted you because she knew your heart. She nods, smiling faintly, holding the key close. The storm may have ended, but life like this family will continue to grow, learn, and rebuild. And the lessons of this night of betrayal, secrets, and hidden strength will remain with us, guiding the way forward. Thank you for staying with me through this story. If it touched you, please subscribe and continue with the next story in the playlist.